Nick Corey, and you are watching RPG Design, the video series where I build a tabletop RPG system from the ground up, and you are along for the ride. I suppose I should clarify, that slogan doesn't really work because I say that I'm building it from the ground up on this video series, but actually I've already sort of built it, or at least I've worked through a lot more than what these videos detail. And really what I'm doing is explaining to you this RPG system that I've built, looking for input and looking for ways to fine-tune it. So I guess I'll have to redo that intro at some point. But anyway, sorry for not getting a post up or an update up for a couple weeks. It's been very busy for me, but here I am, hopefully able to record another episode or two and tell you more about the system I'm working on. As of yet, nameless system. But in the first few videos, we talked about the basic core mechanics, the dice pools, how to create a PC, and then how to progress that PC, and destiny and what those mean. So now we're going to look at the very first kind of core attribute or core statistic for a character, which are values. Now, if you watch those previous videos, you'll know all about, or you'll get the general idea of what values are. We're going to dig into that a little bit more. So here we go. So values, as I have talked about in the past, values they represent the core ideals and the core motivations of your character. Every character will be fighting or working to uphold or maintain their values in one way or another. Every character has two values. They're chosen at character creation, and you can choose them you can choose them on your own, or you can roll 2d12 and just pick the two that it finds, as long as you don't end up with opposing values like wealth and generosity. Values can be changed, so you can choose to alternate or change one value for another. However, that is a lengthy endeavor that does take multiple sessions in order to see, and also plenty in-character decisions are needed to fuel that. And that's all kind of described here. So let's just go through the values themselves. First of all, we've got family. Family is the very first one, listed alphabetically. But this character finds strength and importance in his familial bonds, blood bonds, people that he is related to. He or she would do anything for their family. And then some examples I give are a barbarian who grew up in a small village, a rogue in the city who lives with his sister, or a young noblewoman seeking to uphold the place of social power that her family has already established. These are all characters that would value family. The next one, moving alphabetically, is freedom. Character who seeks freedom. No, this character seeks freedom from the established rule and sovereignty of the land. He takes to the road or lives where others don't dare to look, or remains on the move in order to live a life that isn't marred by laws, policies, and bureaucracies. So freedom, think of like a pirate or a brigand, or just somebody who, like a Robin Hood character, would value freedom. Freedom is kind of that roguish, it's a very heroic one, and a very kind of chaotic good sort of value. I don't like the D&D alignment system, but it's a good example in this case. In that someone who values freedom will fight to keep themselves free and to keep others free. So, moving on, generosity. A character who values generosity is obviously someone who's going to see importance in giving of himself and helping out those less fortunate. Not necessarily monetary giving, but that could be part of it. It could be any other way that you want to interpret generosity, short of me giving you this isn't going to help you, so I'm not going to do it. You know, that sort of thing. Like, that kind of rides the line. But the generosity value is all about helping others and being altruistic and that sort of thing. Honor. Valuing honor shows that the character holds ideals like proper etiquette, chivalry, honesty, integrity, and forthrightness in high regard. Some characters, like knights or nobles, would probably value honor to a high degree. It's going to be characters who believe that that there are certain ways of doing things. Characters who believe that an honorable fight is better than a fight you're certainly going to win, that sort of thing. Next, we have justice. Justice is for characters who value the law of the land over anything else and feel that upholding that law is of extreme importance. Justice would be characters like paladins or priests, or if you're playing a modern RPG, a police officer would value justice, or a vigilante would probably value justice. Well, maybe. Loyalty. Loyalty is the opposite. Now we're getting into some of the first opposing values. Loyalty in this game is the opposite of family. So if you have the loyalty value, you cannot have the family value. And that's because loyalty means you value other relationships, your friends, your compatriots, your superiors, your officers, that sort of thing. You value those relationships even more than blood ties, and you would do more for the people that you adventure with, or more for the people that you work for, than you would for your own family. So you can't have both loyalty and family. You can have one or the other. Opportunity is the opposition of honor. With opportunity, a character who values opportunity is going to take advantage of any moment as it presents itself. So a character who values opportunity is going to be like, there's not going to be much honor with them. Dirty fighting, stealing, cheating, lying, that sort of thing. They're more opportunists because they're looking to get the best possible outcome rather than the most honorable outcome. So you can't have both opportunity and honor. Order is the value that opposes freedom. Now, this doesn't mean that people who value order are all about like slavery and servitude and stuff like that. What this means is that freedom is about seeking to get away from order and social structure and that sort of thing, whereas order is all about seeking to uphold social structure and established rules and laws and reigns, that sort of thing. Creeds, codes is what's listed here. People of the world would devolve into anarchy and discord without their laws and codes, according to a character who values order. So you can't have both order and freedom, but you can have one or the other. Progression is the next, and that's all about learning and academia and discovery, and progression is going to directly oppose tradition. Characters who value progression are going to be all about learning about the world around them, exploring, and that sort of thing. Reform directly opposes justice. Characters who value reform want to see current laws change. They want to see these. They want to see the current, what's considered right and wrong, or what's considered good or bad, that sort of thing. They want to see that thrown up in the air and started over again from scratch. Characters who value reform would be like revolutionaries, guerrilla fighters, anybody who seeks to change the current power, and that's directly opposing justice. So you can't have reform and justice, you can only have one or the other. Tradition, which opposes progression. Tradition is all about upholding the thoughts, the concerns, the practices of their elders and grandparents in high regard. Traditionally minded characters often see the ways of the old are better for society and the world as a whole, and seek to do what they can to uphold those traditions. So you're thinking of, it'd be like a village elder, a tribal leader, someone who, or even a paladin of like a very old order, who has a lot of dogmatic traditions and policies that he has to adhere to, would value tradition. And then the last one is wealth. And wealth is pretty obvious. Characters who seek monetary or material gain over anything else, they're going to value wealth. They're often worried about how much the job is going to pay, rather than whether or not they think it's good. Characters who have wealth cannot also have generosity. So those are the 12 values, at least at the core of this game. More may come eventually. I guess I'm not sure. I kind of like 12. It's a nice round number, and it's just enough so that if you have a group of 4, 5, or 6 characters, you're probably not going to have any characters with the exact same 2 values. They might have, you might have a number of them who have one the same, but not both. I'm currently getting ready to play test this, and we're doing it in a piracy style campaign. So all of them have freedom, all of the PCs have freedom as a value, but then from there it changes. Some have freedom and loyalty, freedom and tradition, freedom and opportunity, freedom and wealth. So it changes from one PC to the next. They all have freedom though, which is good because that's kind of the core of the idea of being a pirate. So values, I might add more, but again, I really like 12 as the round number. I really like that it informs character decisions as far as role-playing and stuff like that, and that it also helps, if you watch the progression episode, it helps with actually advancing your character and gaining new traits and talents and upgrading your skills and that sort of thing. your values will play a part in that. So if your character, for instance, values freedom, and you play your character as someone who would value freedom, you make significant and consequential decisions based on his value of freedom, you can earn destiny, which is experience in this game. Whereas, say you value generosity, but you want your character to take a different turn and you want them to start to value wealth over generosity. Well, then you'd have to start making decisions as a character to withhold helping others and to instead look out for, is this a way that's going to benefit me on a material level, that sort of thing. And over time, as you do that over the course of multiple sessions, then eventually you'll lose generosity and gain wealth. That's how it kind of works for changing your values. But it takes a minimum of 4 or 5 sessions, and that's assuming that you are making these significant consequential decisions every session. Obviously, that's all up to the judgment of your game master. I mean, I have some things outlined here in this section, Values and Destiny, that talk about awarding destiny based off of values, when it's appropriate, when it isn't, how often you should do it, which there's kind of a hard and fast rule on that. No more than 1 destiny per game session awarded via values. So that means that every scene you can't have a character who's, giving away money to the poor and then getting a destiny every scene, because that would skew the balance of this game pretty quick. So that is our values episode, where we've talked about character values. If you have any input, if you like the values idea or you don't like it, if you have questions about it, please let me know in the comments below. I am more than happy to address these concerns or questions, or even listen to your input. And then our next episode is the one where we will talk about traits. So that one we're going to go over the character traits, go through the list really quick and just briefly discuss each one. And then after that we'll talk about talents, which is the meat of characters, and that's what generally players really like to see, are your special abilities, the things my character can do. So we'll get into that in future episodes. So thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.